Eating the Rainbow. I am presenting Eating the Rainbow Plant-Based Diet, Part 3. I'm Janet Pearson, and the three main points that I will be covering tonight are calorie density principles, the delicious, easy, nutritious, satisfying, and economical way to health, and the acronym is DENSE, again, the density of nutrition. And then I'm going to end the session with kitchen and real life tips in the real world. So last week, before I forget, I had mentioned that locally in Hazel Crest, they are having a plant-based health fair, and the original date was scheduled for July 17th, and there is a scheduling change on that, and it's August 7th. So just want everyone to make a note of that if you're local and planning to attend that, and check the Hazel Crest Village website for details. Calorie density, the principles of calorie density are how many calories per pound in an amount of food in various categories. And when we eat the more of the lower density foods, the lower calorically dense foods, it fills us up and we're more satisfied. When we eat high calorie dense foods, it causes us to overeat because there's more calories per pound of food. And I will be going a little more into that in the future slides. But to follow up with the challenges I've been pretty much promoting to really do eating the plant-based, no oil, successfully, since marketing and from TV to billboards to restaurants to even TV talk shows, morning talk shows, daytime talk shows that have health programs on. You really need to know who to believe and who to trust. And I encourage everyone to watch documentaries each week until you've watched them all. Some of my favorites are Forks Over Knives, What the Health, Eating You Alive, or The Game Changers. And also encouraging everyone to add a new plant food each week. Shop the rainbow from the produce section and visualize your plate and see how many colors are on their plate and how many can I add to it each time. And then try some new recipes. Google vegan or plant-based or whole food plant-based, no oil on YouTube. Join Facebook groups. There's tons of information all available for free. And then daily, eat either raw meals with a salad with 3 to 4 colors on your plate, or drink a smoothie, again, with 3 to 4 colors of fruits and veggies. And you could make a gradual change or make a change all at once. Most doctors do recommend to make a gradual change if you already are have some medications, and work with your healthcare provider is recommended, because sugar levels, if you're diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, if you have cholesterol and you're on medication, all of those things can drop rapidly as quick as 7 to 14 days when people have changed to a whole food plant-based diet under a doctor's supervision. Okay, we talked about some of those things last week, and that was a review. And I also wanted to encourage everyone to go to the 4 new food groups: the vegetables, the fruits, the whole grains, and the legumes, which includes the beans, your beans, peanuts, and lentils, and also green beans and string beans and peas and the spring peas. All of those are in season right now in our area. And minimize the processed foods that are high in salt, oil, and sugar, and a lot of non-food chemicals, and also minimize the animal foods such as red meat, chicken, fish, milk, cheese, and eggs. Here's some of the resources, again, that we had talked about for people that are just joining us tonight, just to have a review, all trusted sources. So let's get on with what is the calorie density principle. Our stomachs hold about 400 calories of food if they are all vegetables. And each day, each of us eat between 3 and 4 pounds of food a day. If your stomach is filled only with veggies, and that means it will be filled with 400 calories, or about 1 pound of food. Fruits average between 400 and 500 calories per pound. Vegetables, starchy vegetables, also are between 300 and 400 calories per pound. In comparison, animal products average 1,200 to 1,600 calories per pound. And cheese is just as addictive as morphine, and it holds a power punch of 16 calories per pound. And oils, all oils, are up to 4,000 calories per pound. Now you may be asking, well, there's no way I'm going to eat a pound of oil. Well, this is just a way to compare the foods that are going to fill you up, that are lower calorie, to keep you satisfied throughout the day. So there's no calorie counting necessary. You just need to eat the right types of food until you're about 80% full. This will give you fiber-rich foods than fuel that have zero saturated fat from vegetables and fruits. Saturated fat is found in all animal products, and this is the type of fat that causes plaques in the arteries that result in heart disease. So saturated fat, when you look on packages, you want to look for that, and you want to look for a 0 in saturated fat, or just eat whole foods that have 0 saturated fat. Here's another slide, similar, but it is a green light to red light. So the green foods are the non-starchy foods, and if you have a plate of veggies that are non-starchy first to fill your stomach, and then add a quarter of the plate with the orange foods here, which consists of potatoes, grains, beans. That would be 400 calories. As you could see, this fills your stomach totally, 400 calories. This one is more in the orange category. It's 3/4. Animal products are closer to a third. Cheese is closer to this is all 400 calories, of less than a quarter, and oils, 400 calories of oil barely will fill you up. Does that make sense? Could you see the comparison? It's pretty amazing when you see it in that type of format. And here's another format. I don't know if you could, it's kind of small here, but when you watch it, maybe you could take a screenshot of this one and copy it and then zoom it in. But vegetables are about, the non-starchy vegetables, 100 calories per pound. The fruits are 200. The refined carbohydrates, which are starches, are closer to 3 to 4. Beans are 600. Fatty proteins, which would mean your animal products, are 1,000 or more. Your refined carbs are 1,400. Sugar, 1,800. Cheese, 1,600. Butter is not good. It's 2,800. Of course, you're not going to eat a pound of butter, But in comparison, you could see where we're going with this concept. Nuts and seeds are 2,800 equal with butter, and nuts and seeds do pack a punch of nutrition, but they're designed to eat in very small amounts, and they recommend to fill the small part of your palm with and sprinkle them on your salads or on your foods, or use a little bit when you're blending a dressing instead of eating them right out of the bag. And then back again, oils 4,000, and that's calories per pound. The next slide here, I have comparing our standard American diet. Here we have mostly processed and refined foods filled with hidden and harmful ingredients. It starts with here ice cream at 900 or so calories per pound, and it goes next to bologna, 1,100. A Big Mac is almost 1,200. Bagels, 1,200. Pizza, 1,200. French fries, 1,400. Nachos, I think it says 1,500 or 1,600. Salamis and other sausages, 1,500. Popcorn, 1,700. Skittles, candy, 18, and it goes up and up and up. Oreos, 2,100. Snicker bars, 2,200. Beef jerky, 18. Potato chips in the 24. And I know I could easily eat a bag of potato chips, but that was before I got on the healthy journey. And now I don't even buy them, because if these ingredients are in your house, guess what? They will be in your mouth. So the quickest tip I could give you is don't even bring them in the house. Does that make sense? It just is, it's a little harder then when you have a craving to go run to the store to get something, and you will have more energy when you're not fueling your body with these forms of oils, fats, and sugar, animal products, whey, processed soy, chemicals, preservatives, artificial coloring, just to mention a few non-food ingredients in our food today. No wonder we are all struggling with weight, our sugar numbers, lack of energy, poor sleep, and just generally unhealthy. This chart is from Dr. John McDougall, who has written many books. One of the books that I would recommend is called The Starch Solution. I don't know if that's opposite, but it's called The Starch Solution, and it's a great basic book, and it covers a lot of the density, calorie density, salt and sugar, why oils are bad. And there's one page in here that I do want to talk about, and it talks about the more dangers from consuming fish and fish oils, and also the difference of cholesterol in all animal products. Our body doesn't need cholesterol at all. We produce all of it we need to keep ourselves healthy, but there's high cholesterol and saturated fat in all animal products. Let me find this a minute here. I had a slide, but I couldn't get it in my slideshow for the presentation today, because I just actually received this book recently, and it's just filled with some great information. If we have time after, I will talk about that a little bit. It's a great book maybe to have at the library too. Oh, here we go. Had my marker in the wrong spot. Fat and protein and carbohydrates. In a hamburger, fats, there's 65 grams of fat and 35 protein, 0 carbs. And cheese has 70% fat, and protein is 28%, 2% carbs. And compare that with something like a non-dairy spread, 100% and butter is 100% fat with 0 protein and 0 carbs. Whereas when you look at beans and grains, they have a nice mixture of protein as well as the carbohydrates and all the phytonutrients that you get with them.
I just want you guys to know we do have that book at the library.
Oh, you do?
Sorry to interrupt you. Yes, we do.
Excellent. And you could find on Dr. John McDougall's website, his latest book he wrote actually for his grandchildren. And it talks about red light or yellow and green light foods. And you can download that for free on drmcdougall.com. Here's his website right here, if you could see my cursor. He also has many presentations and lectures available free online, either on his website or search his name on YouTube. I highly recommend it. Now let's talk about the dense food for life. Food can be delicious when it's filled with colors. So I want everyone to spend a little more time in the produce section and get some whole foods, something that you've never tried before, and some favorites. This food is delicious, it's easy, it's nutritious, sustainable, and economical. It's so much better than eating out at restaurants out of packages, boxes, and bags. And then our fast food window diet is just, rarely healthy. He has healthy options. And on all animal flesh has the saturated fat, and it does nothing, it does, as it does anything comes with animals, the egg and dairy is disease promoting and harmful. Plants are delicious. There's over 100,000 edible plants worldwide. Your taste buds will change and you will start craving for the healthy foods and stop craving for the unhealthy foods, especially when you learn to flavor with spices, herbs, onions, garlic, lemons and limes, vinegars, and all the different ways that you can make your food delicious, as I talked about. If you don't like veggies, many healthy ways to eat them: raw or cooked or blended. Your taste buds will alter. Just like if you change and you're using less salt in your meals, when you do have something salty, that's all you could taste is the salt. And that's because your taste buds did adjust to that better, healthier food. Plants can be very easy. Peeling a banana, eating apples, raw fruits and vegetables are great snacks, or you could steam them lightly in a water saute, Instant Pot, air fryers, microwaves to reheat. If you plan ahead, you could do this successfully. You just do need to plan ahead. Prepare in advance. It's easy. You could prep all at once when you bring everything from the grocery store. And remember, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. And we talked about last time how frozen bananas are delicious. You peel them first, you put them in a Ziploc bag or a container, and then you could add them to smoothies or a food processor with either cacao or other fruits to make sorbets and ice creams. And you could add dates for sweeteners if needed. What could be easier than that? Plants are nutritious. As I mentioned before, there's macro and micronutrients in all plants, and they're filled with antioxidants, phytonutrients, and minerals. And the biggest one is fiber. There's fiber in all plants. The average American gets less than 5 to 10% fiber in their daily diet, and the USDA food guidelines is recommending 35 grams a day minimum. And when you're on a whole food plant-based diet, you probably will get closer to 40 to 50 grams based on the food that you're eating. Fiber is what the gut bacteria actually feeds on. We need the fiber, as it's in each part of the plant is different foods. For example, apples, as I have pictured here, the skin, the different types of apples, everything has different types of fiber. And an excellent book that may or may not be at the library, but you could find it at other libraries, is called Fiber Fueled. And it's all about gut health and fiber health. And I have it here underneath. And it's came out just recently last year. So it has many of the current data on a plant-based diet. Next, plants are sustainable. When you eat plants, you are not only are you helping yourself and your health, you are saving billions of animals from horrific common factory farming practices. To get more information on that, PETA.org. And then you're also saving the earth and the environment. Animal agriculture is depleting the earth's natural resources of air, water, and land. Actually, a few weeks ago, I just watched the documentary called Seaspiracy. It's available on Netflix, and it is the newest documentary about the fishing industry and how it's depleting our oceans of the vital large fish, whales, and dolphins with the fishing practices that are not able to be controlled because they're 100 miles offshore. So there's 3 good reasons why to start a plant-based diet: and the animals, the environment, as well as your health. Not only are they sustainable, but they're also very satisfying. Economical. Plants are economical, especially when you buy at farmers markets or buy in bulk bins. Greens, grains, beans, legumes, and potatoes are the most economical foods you could buy, especially if you buy in bulk, if you eat seasonal and fresh, or even grow your own in the garden. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the last 2 classes, but I may have mentioned it about the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen list. You could find that on the EWG.org website. It stands for the Environmental Working Group. They have a wealth of information on that website regarding chemically sprayed foods, as well as the less sprayed, and with herbicides and chemical foods that you don't need to pretty much what you want to get that's organic and what you want to get that's non-organic. For instance, if you don't eat the outside, it's okay to eat non-organic, or it's called conventional foods like pineapples, avocados, oranges, versus berries, grapes, cherries, and peaches. You don't peel those. So those are, and strawberries would be on that list. So all berries, blueberries, strawberries, cranberries, you eat the whole fruit and vegetable and the skin, that those are more critical that you buy organic. Top tips for weight loss: fill up with fiber, eat your greens, plan ahead, shop for the nutrition of the rainbow, and hydrate. Hydrate with water is the best hydration that you can actually have. Some of my favorite meals that we could start with: just search whole food, plant-based, no oil. So the acronym is right here. Search the internet for videos and recipes of your favorite foods. Some of mine for breakfast are morning oatmeal or overnight oats layered with fruits, nuts, and seeds. And some of the seeds that I prefer are flaxseed, hemp seed, as well as chia seeds. Pancakes with white whole wheat flour, and veggies with a tofu scramble, and seasonings to make it taste just like egg. It tastes and look like eggs when you find the right recipes. And my favorite dinners are pasta, Mexican tacos, rice and beans, Asian stir fry with rice or noodles, and potatoes cooked various ways with toppings like salsa and dressings. And lunch is usually leftovers from dinner or salads with lots of greens, veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and dressings and sauces without any oils. I just wanted to share a new recipe that I'm excited about. This is a new book that I just got last week. I paged through it, found a recipe, and it's going to be a keeper. And the book is called The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. And they also have, this is their cookbook, and they also have a website, but it's an excellent book. I think I have it here. Let me just hold it up for anybody. Not sure if the library has this one, but this is the recipe I tried on the weekend. And let me show you the picture. Doesn't it look delicious? It's a great sandwich recipe. They have it in a pita, stuffed in a pita. And I'm going to show the recipe out of the book. Is this backwards for you guys? Could you see it? Could you take a screenshot of it? I'm not sure. I'm going to share it on my Facebook group. So that's a Vegan Home Cook group on Facebook if you're a Facebook person.
We
But
were able to see it, Janet, just fine. But what was the name of the book? I want to see if we have it at the library. Who's the author?
The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. It's by Dean Sherzai, Sherzai. And
But that
his
one more
wife,
time. F?
S as in Sam, Herzai. Dean and Aisha Sherzai. They have spent their life studying the effects of diet on dementia and Alzheimer's because both of their parents have had both of those diseases, and they have spent their life on, they have PhDs and they're chemists, scientists, and they're in California, Loma Linda, California, I want to say.
We do have the book.
You do? Oh, that just came out recently.
Yes, it did.
You are up on that. I highly recommend it. So the recipe, I was trying to figure out, we were going away for the weekend, and my son is working, was competing in an Ironman triathlon in Michigan. So I had the task of packing the cooler for the food for the week before the trip, before the race, the day before. So what I made these chickpea and seeds sandwich filling, and the ingredients were chickpeas mashed up with a potato masher, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds ground up in my food processor with a little bit of tahini, mustard, nutritional yeast blended in the food processor to make a paste with lemon juice, liquid aminos. We talked about that last week. And I added chopped celery, onion to it. And it looked like something between a tuna salad and an egg salad that I used to make. I stuffed it in the whole pita and added sliced tomatoes and radishes just before eating. They packed well in the cooler for the weekend trip and held up great. And everyone who ate them, even the non-vegans, loved them. They said it really tasted good. And what I did was pack the sandwich, and you could do this for lunch. The sandwich went in here, and then the tomato and the radishes, and I put some small roasted potatoes in here. So that was my side salad with the pita. And they really lasted great. So I'm definitely going to be making that recipe again. And there's a picture of what we had for lunch. Some of the healthiest cooking techniques: raw, no heat, or heat under 115 Fahrenheit is considered a raw diet. Some foods are more nutritious when eaten raw, and some are actually more nutritious and better for digestion when they're cooked. And many of the books that I've recommended to everyone in this series will also, recommend and tell you which ones are more nutritious when cooked or raw. And if you have a sensitive stomach, it's recommended to go low amounts and slowly incorporate some of the new foods into your diet. That's real critical, so you don't have a lot of gas issues and bloating, because then that will give your gut bacteria the time to adjust to your new way of eating. The healthiest ways to cook, though, are the steam or water saute, with vegetable broth or water. We talked about how you don't need oil. And the Instant Pot is great for pressure cooking, or the crock pot. Instant Pot is a combination pressure cooker and a crock pot. And when you make stews and soups, you're lacking all the nutrition, and even though it goes into the liquid, you're drinking the liquid. So all the nutrition is in there. In the microwave, actually, there's controversy on microwave cooking, and some people feel it is not healthy, but the scientists have put that to the test, and microwave cooking is healthy because it's not heating food for a long period of time. And depending on what you're cooking, it could be a time saver to reheat or even cook things halfway before you're grilling them or before you're roasting them. An air fryer is another way to get a crispiness to your food, your veggies, without oil. And then, of course, blending, high-speed blenders, Vitamix, Blendtec, or Ninja will puree and get your kale and your vegetables, from cucumbers to beets to blueberries to anything, carrots, which are better because you keep the fiber in the food that you're eating when you do a blender versus a juice. So if you're wondering what's healthier, a smoothie or a juice, it would be the blended smoothie, because you're not getting rid of the fiber, which is what your gut bacteria actually feeds on.
Janet?
Yes.
We had a question asking if your pita is whole wheat pita, or what kind of pita are you using?
Whole wheat pita. We found it at Whole Foods in a package of 6.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you could make it on a sandwich also with a multi-grain bread that has whole in front of the grains, or you could just scoop it on a green salad like we used to do egg salad or tuna salad, and it would be great like that, or just eat it with, eat it as a dip, filling with even celery. You could also put oats, the oats that we talked about last week, old-fashioned oats, in with water in your blender instead of buying a non-dairy milk, to make your smoothies creamier and thick and get the nutrients and the protein and the carbohydrates from the grains, and also the fiber again. If you're thinking about getting a high pressured or high powered blender, such as the Vitamix, Blendtec, and Ninja, they are quite expensive. They're an investment, and they're great investments. I was on this journey for about 3 years before I invested in the Vitamix, and I regret not getting it sooner, but I was able to get one at a discount on a Facebook marketplace. someone was upgrading theirs and getting a different brand, and it was brand new. I was able to get it for $150. And also I got a second one as a gift for someone refurbished directly from the Vitamix website. They do sell refurbished ones, and those are ones that they rebuild that have been used in demos like at Costco and various types of demonstrations. Food processors are also a good tool to have to help, but they're not necessary. But if you have one, pull it out, and it's a great way to prep quickly, chop, and make nuts, nut and seed butters with just the one ingredient. Just you can make almond butter, you could make walnut butter, pecan butter out of just the nuts with a food processor. Or if you just want to get started with a good sharp knife and a cutting board, that works too. Versus some of the most unhealthy cooking techniques going into the 4th of July weekend here are barbecue and grilling meats, chicken, fish, burgers, hot dogs, sausages. The black grill marks especially have been proven to be a class 1 carcinogen. That is the same category as cigarettes. In comparison, grilled vegetables do not contain those same harmful reactions, chemical reactions, because they don't have the protein that's in the animal products. So I recommend, instead of the above mentioned animal products on the grill, try grilled veggies on a shish kebab. Some places are selling them, all veggie shish kebabs, for the 4th, along with grilled corn on the cob. Grilled pineapple is excellent. Grilled cauliflower, if you cut it thick along the long side, it stays thick, and you could grill it and flip it, and you can marinate it so it tastes good, and you could eat it instead of a steak. It could be your cauliflower steak.
Janet, somebody has mentioned, Karen mentioned that Dr. Gregor has a video on the benefits and safety of microwave cooking on his nutritionfacts.org website and also on his YouTube page. And she also shared that Vitamix allows you to break your payments up, so you don't have to pay for the Vitamix all at once.
That's good. And Vitamix is an Ohio family-owned 3rd-generation company. I like supporting companies that are made in America here in Ohio, in the Midwest. So that's the other advantage. Let's talk about minimum or no salt. What to do instead. Spices are great flavor enhancers. You could buy blends or the individual spices. Herbs, fresh and dried, like cilantro, parsley, dill, rosemary. They're delicious. They're easy to grow, and you can put them in your garden or in pots, even in your kitchen window. Condiments that are popular in the plant-based world are aminos, coconut aminos that we talked about before, liquid aminos, soy aminos. They're made from different products, tamari, and different types of mustards, and then your acids, which are the lemon and lime and vinegars. It's important to experiment with foods from different cultures. You may like some better than others, and that's okay. Sometimes you don't like it the first time, but as your taste buds change, you may develop a desire for them. But sometimes, you may want to stick with your old favorites. My favorites are Italian food, spices, and Mexican and Asian. And I've tried turmeric and some of the other world cultures, and I'm acquiring a taste for them because I really, my whole life, never grew up with them. But I do want to incorporate some more turmeric and ginger and different, fenugreek and all of these different curry types flavors. And we talked about oil and butter, no oil or butter, because all oil is 120 calories per tablespoon. It doesn't have any nutrients or minerals or fiber. And in baking, you could substitute applesauce, and there's many other substitutes, even mashed banana or prune puree that you could buy in small containers. Even pumpkin puree is a great substitute. And then you could also substitute the oil when you make dressings with seeds and nuts in the Vitamix. Cashew dressings are a great way to make desserts, or you can even make creamy dressings like sour cream and mayonnaise with all plant-based. And I like to use cauliflower for a lower calorie dense substitute for oil or cream sauces. You steam cauliflower just till it's done. You mix it with sauteed onions in your Vitamix with a little bit of non-dairy milk and some spices, and it creams up to be similar to an Alfredo sauce. If you're into using nutritional yeast, you could add that for a cheesy flavor, or you could just keep it with a garlic base. Some of the other, you could also use avocado for creaminess, as I mentioned, in dressings. And some of the dressings in Dr. Furman's recipes have blended cucumbers, zucchini, tomatoes, oranges, strawberries. You could blend those all to make a liquid dressing, which are all delicious on your greens and vegetables. And then the no sugar. What to do to substitute the sweet taste on your tongue if you have cravings for sugar. Dates, as we talked about before, are the healthiest sweetener, according to Dr. Michael Greger's nutritionfacts.org, because they come in the whole form. And there's a lot of nutrients and fiber in dates. You could make date paste, date syrup, or you could buy it. You could try date stuff with peanut butter, with a pecan. When you've put those in the freezer, I usually make a tray of them, put them in the freezer, and they really taste very similar to the turtle chocolate type of sweet treat that I used to love, and it's a healthier version. Also, nutrients instead of sugars, you can use maple syrup with 100% nothing added but the maple syrup. You could find that at a discount at Sam's Club, under $10, about $10 for the quart, or you could get them pretty much at any farmer's market. They would probably be a little more though, a higher price. And a great combination that I recently, I've discovered it a while back, watermelon cubed up on an arugula salad. The peppery arugula greens mixed with the sweetness of the watermelon is a great combination. And then you could drizzle a balsamic vinaigrette or vinegar on it. And the difference between a vinegar and a vinaigrette usually has oil and other spices in it, where the balsamic vinegars are just a vinegar, and usually about 4% acidity in a balsamic vinegar versus a non-balsamic vinegar, like just your red or your white vinegar, has a closer 6%, and it's a sharper flavor. Also, you could blend mangoes and strawberries for a sweet type of dressing on your salads. So all of those are healthy, whole foods that you could use in place of sugar. Are there any more questions at this point?
I do not see any.
Okay, we have a few more minutes. Let me show you something that I just recently invested in. They're called super cubes, and I can't wait to use them. They were actually on Shark Tank, and they were designed by a couple that are engineers, and they were trying to figure out how to freeze their soups and their leftovers in cubes. So they decided they designed these silicone cubes, and these are each 1 cup measurements, and you could also fill it to a half cup, and they fit. Once they're in cubes, you could put your chilies, anything that you make, and in here, and then pop them out. You just squeeze them, pop them out, and they're nice and square, and 8 of these will fit in the typical size of a gallon freezer bag. So a Ziploc bag will fit. So I have these that I can't wait to use, and you could stack them, and you could also bake in them. So maybe banana bread or zucchini bread, but those are a great investment that I enjoy. And then again, if you haven't seen these are the Debbie Myers green containers that you could get online. And these really do help your produce last longer to prevent food from going bad. And we talked about freezing things. I like to write down and try to make a habit to write down on my refrigerator what I'm putting in there or in my freezer, so I know what is in there, so I could pull it out and, in the morning and have something for dinner on my busier days, or bring something for lunch and let it thaw out in your lunch box. And then by the time it's lunchtime, you could just reheat it in the microwave. So also all good ideas. You could also freeze in smaller ice cube trays some of your herbs in water or broth, and then just put them in your soups or stews to add that fresh flavor. Tips when shopping. I think I pretty much covered all those in my discussion, but I'll leave the slide here so people, that are watching the recording could look at it and they could stop it. There we go. Tips when at home. Wash produce you will use as soon as you get it home. Some produce will last longer if you wash it and cut it up and put it in the containers ready for a salad bar in your refrigerator. Other vegetables and fruits will last longer if you don't wash them and you wash them immediately when you're using them. So do a little research. One thing I learned, do not store potatoes with onions in the same bin because it will cause your potatoes to go bad quicker. And bananas should be separate from other fruits on your counter because they emit a gas that makes everything else go ripe. If you want something to go ripe fast, put it in a brown paper bag with a banana and it will ripen faster. Store tomatoes on a counter. They last about a week. They kind of get grainy tasting and a grainy texture if you put them in the refrigerator. And if you cook batch cooking, larger amounts, freeze it, and then you can cook once and eat twice or many times. Tips when socializing out with others. You want to plan ahead. Ask if there's a vegan or a vegetarian diet that could be made plant-based. And if not, I'm going to a wedding shower actually in a few weeks, and they had nothing available for me, but they said I was welcome to bring my own food, which I normally do. And I'd rather do that than go to an event and not have any food to eat, because I need to eat regularly. So all of those are some good ideas. I never talk about food or my diet when I'm socializing or eating, but I do let people know that I'd be happy to get them information after the meal or later. Tips when traveling, always pack a cooler and visit the Happy Cow app on your phone is a great resource. Here it is, Happy Cow. You could download, it's a free app, and you could travel around the world anywhere. I was in Mexico and I found restaurants that had vegan and vegetarian options. You can eat raw food, fruits, veggies, potatoes are great to travel with, that you could just put some onions and celery and vinegar on and they won't go bad in the heat. The 3-bean salads are great. What could be easier than peeling fruit and having veggies, finger food available? Don't rely on gas stations or fast food. when you're traveling. Always have a backup plan. And the same thing goes when eating at work or school. Plan on bringing your own containers, bring leftovers from dinner the night before, but keep it as colorful and tasty as you can. You don't want to have a boring lunch. You want to jazz it up with something fresh like parsley and cilantro, lime juice, lemon juice. So again, the challenge each week, if you're serious about getting healthier, watch the documentaries, and we have a complete list of the documentaries under the resources under plant-based nutrition movement.org, which is abbreviated pbnm.org. That's a local Chicago organization. And I think Karen, that is giving those tips, is a member. Karen, let me know if you're the Karen in PBNM, because I'm not sure. I can't see your face. And in the chat, please let me know. But pbnm.org is a great resource to have all of the documentaries, the authors, the books, the latest and greatest. And we even have our local chefs, plant-based chefs and home cooks making videos and posting those regularly. Some of the recipes that could be found online here are, again, John and Mary McDougall, the Esselstyns, Jane and Ann Esselstyn cooking videos, Chef AJ. Another great one that I love is Chef AJ. She has over 500 videos in the last year that she's interviewed people with different types of food demos and different physicians on the health benefits of a nutrition plant-based diet. And then another one is a whole food plant-based cooking show. She's all oil-free. And, just shop around, check everything that, the prices that are available in our area. Aldi has just a FYI, Aldi has a great price on organic spring mix for a salad base. It's under $4 in the same pound container that some of the other stores have it for almost $5 or $6. It's organic and it's very tasty, and it lasts 10 days or more when you put a white paper towel right on top of it that absorbs the moisture. So in conclusion, is your food medicine? Imagine having the key to health and longevity right in your hands, easily accessible, and as simple to implement as raising a fork. nutritionstudies.org, nutritionfacts.org, PCRM, and PBNM are all great websites. You can directly, since we're running the time today, we're not going to have a lot of time for questions. We have to end in a few minutes here because Linda is at the library and she has to close up and has some other duties. But I want to thank Linda for giving me the opportunity to share this important message. And anyone can contact me directly with any additional questions you might have. My email is janetspecialevents@gmail.com. Or I want to invite everyone on the call or everyone watching the video in repeat to join my vegan home cook group on Facebook and connect from there. You could connect with other Facebook groups like Forks Over Knives or plant-based no oil groups that are around on Facebook. So I'm encouraging everyone to take this seriously because health is wealth. And when you're healthy, everything works well. Thank you. Linda, back to you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you do have any questions, we do have just a few minutes that I will let you ask a question to just so that you can all share ideas. If after the program you think of a question and you don't have Janet's email address. You can always email me and I will make sure it gets to her. I will forward it to her. Janet, you are getting a number of thank yous for the program. So thank you from my point of view, as well as other people. Somebody also said there's a website called the Black Health Academy, which is another good site for getting information if you're interested in.
Could you repeat that? I didn't catch it.
Okay, hold on. It was called the Black Health Academy. I have never heard of it. I'm gonna see what I can find out about it, but there's a Black Health.
I'm not familiar with that one. But it very well me. I'm always online learning and getting different things all the time.
So everybody, I want to thank you for coming tonight. I do want you to know that I have recorded this session. So what we will be doing is we will be downloading it tomorrow or the next day. It does take a while to actually download it because Janet just shares so much information. It takes a long time to download it. But we will download it and actually upload it to our website that you can go to any of the 3 days we've had the program, click on the information, and it will be on our events page that you can get all 3 sessions, as well as the handout she gave us the first week. Again, it's been my pleasure. If you are a South Holland resident or a local patron, and you would like us to do a specific program that we have not touched upon, and you think, hey, this would really be a good idea, please pick up the phone, call the South Holland Public Library, ask for Linda, or email me. I would be very much interested to hear on what you want to have as programs. Again, if you have any feedback on tonight's program that you would like to email me or share with me via phone call, please do so. My email address is linda@southhollandlibrary.org, and I will be more than happy to talk to you, or if it's a question you want me to send to Janet, I will forward it to Janet. Thank you. Everybody have a good evening. Eat healthy, eat well, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Good night.